The Winter Tale by George Mackay Brown. In an island, no one escapes the sea. Spume and gull everywhere. The sea beats at the end of every road. I think I will not stay long here. I'm looking for this house. Across the boat, the ferryman shook his head at me. 3 old women mumbled as if I had come to burn the roofs over their heads. A boy listened, above the waves' thunder and blaze. His finger pointed, but drooped soon, like a flower in a jam jar. The blacksmith had never heard of that house. The beadle turned the pages of an old book and shook his head. The schoolmaster listened gravely. The laird would not so much as open his door. And the sea, lamentation of sea at the north head in the darkness. If the westerly slackens, it may be, said the ferryman, he will loosen the rope. The innkeeper had 1 room, very expensive. We don't expect tourists at this time of year. By midnight, I had stood at every door in the island but one, and it a shelter for sheep. We come once again, don't we, to this extraordinary night, in the midst of darkness, in the heart of winter. And it's a mystery that bears repeating because it is unfathomable. Its mystery and its depth just can't be perceived. We hear poets and writers, hymn writers, songwriters, grappling with words, letters that formulate frames of speech, that try and encompass ideas, to try and somehow express, turn sound into something measurable that means God with us. The claims that are made for this baby being born are extravagant, to say it the least. In the beginning was the Word, says John. The Word was with God. The Word was God. All things were made through him. Are we really talking about the same baby in a manger? The writer to the Hebrews seems to think so. But in these last days, God has spoken to us through his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom also he created the world. Really? How is it possible to make such claims about a person born of a young mother into utter obscurity? These are claims that the creator of the universe came in all his glory into his creation. Such an extraordinary story, you would imagine, would be blown, trumpeted from the rooftops. And yet, what we find is a child born in utter obscurity. The reason I read that George Mackay Brown poem is because it's hard work, isn't it? We listen to the words of that poem, terse as it is, and we get a picture of someone struggling, making a journey across a rough North Sea to a small island, trying to search for something. And everywhere he turns, he finds blank faces, dismay, unbelief, misunderstanding. When Jesus was born, who noticed? Just some shepherds out on the hillside, and some men who travelled from across the countries to the east. It was a long and difficult journey to find this child. God become man, nobody knew about it. And to find him required searching, hard work, disappointment, a journey that seemed forlorn, a journey into darkness, a journey that had an unknown end. And that's a journey that each of us needs to take. God becoming human, God waiting to be found. No one can show you this God. You must seek him out yourself, in the places that no one else looks, away from the noise of the world, away from the noise of your life. In a few moments, we'll come to this holy table on this holy night. And in the presence of the Spirit and with poverty in our hearts, we can find that Christ child in a morsel of bread dipped in a drop of wine on this darkest of nights. Come and seek him. Make that journey, difficult though it is. Amen.